and welcome to the Empathic Designer podcast by Learn. I am your host, Vaidishwaran. Let me begin by wishing you a very happy, prosperous, and peaceful 2026. Now, every year we talk about L&D trends. We talk about new tools, new platforms, new buzzwords. But this year somehow feels a little different to me. Because L&D is no longer being asked to train people better. We are now being asked to change how work actually gets done. And now that's a much more complex problem to address. Understanding a trend is pretty simple, but the challenge lies in acting strategically and responsibly without creating noise, which goes about really helping organizations prioritize impactful actions. Now, the first big shift that I see is that learning is now moving out of classrooms and LMSs and is getting injected directly into the workflow. What this really means is not more micro learning. It actually means helping people when and where they are actually stuck. A pattern I keep seeing is that organizations are now launching beautifully designed programs. They are wonderful, but the real performance breakdown happens during work, the actual work on the shop floor, and not during or right after the training. So the question is no longer what course should we build? It's where do people hesitate? Where do they make errors or slow down when they go about doing their jobs? I had a great conversation on this just a few months back with my fellow L&D professionals when I spoke at LXC 2025 conference in New Delhi. Today, a lot of my work exactly begins here, mapping those moments before anything is designed and built. Now, we know AI is everywhere, and almost every organization I speak to is in the process of rolling out or have already rolled out AI for learning. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most AI initiatives fail not because people lack skills or they have resistance to change or lack of motivation, but rather because of workflows, roles, and permissions that haven't changed with the advent of AI. Another pattern I keep seeing is this. So people complete AI training and go back to working the way they actually used to do always. So AI upskilling isn't really about features or prompts. It's about the actual behavior change. What people are now expected to do differently. If AI learning isn't paired with new expectations, manager support, and providing a safe space for experimenting on this, it becomes irrelevant very quickly. It's not a technology thing, it's a people thing. For years, we've had skills, frameworks that look impressive, but still sit unused. So what's changing right now is the intent. Now, those organizations which are actually making real progress are asking sharper questions today. Which skills actually drive performance in this role? Which ones matter now and which are the ones that can wait? When skills are tied to decisions such as hiring, mobility, and development, they start to really matter. And when they are just lists, they really don't. And this is where many L&D teams can now feel empowered by slowing down and clarifying what truly drives performance rather than just rushing into a design mode and building more courses. Now, this focus can foster a sense of purpose and confidence in creating a strategic impact. While, we all know there's a dip in the job market across the globe, but what I see is that retention is still a top challenge for many organizations. The strongest signal I see right now is that people don't leave because of learning or lack of it. They leave because they don't see a future for themselves. And L&D is now being pulled into this bigger role of not just building skills, but enabling career visibility. Now, moving on to leadership, the other pattern that I keep seeing is a plethora of great leadership programs, but they also give managers who don't know how to have career conversations. So the work shifts from run the programs to enable managers to coach, guide and support growth in real time. And leadership is something that we really need today. If there's one role that L&D can't ignore anymore, it's the role of a manager. AI automates many tasks, but judgment, coaching, and decision making still remain vital today. Empowering managers through ongoing coaching and habit building can make them feel capable and essential in driving performance. One of the most critical shifts, though less discussed, is measurement. Now, we've been going on for measurement for many years now, but we still see that completion rates are still losing relevance. The sharper question now is, did anything real actually move? Movement looks like internal mobility, faster time to productivity, strong role readiness, and better retention in critical roles. If learning can't be connected to movement, its relevant will be questioned in organizations, and that is what is happening today. There's a misconception that AI will reduce the need for human skills, but what I'm seeing is the exact opposite. As information becomes abundant, what becomes scarce is making sense out of it. Skills like critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and ethical judgment aren't just soft skills anymore. They are hard differentiators in today's world. So, if I have to summarize this year's trend in one line, it would be just this. L&D is moving from content creation to creating performance clarity. And the real question isn't what should we train, it's more along the lines of where should we intervene actually to make meaningful change and create meaningful outcomes. And that's the work I find myself spending more time on these days, and helping teams cut through the noise and focus on what truly moves performance. Now, if these patterns sound familiar in your organization or in your teams, then the conversation is really worth having. And it isn't about what will be my next program. It's really about the actual underlying problem. Once again, I would like to wish you a brilliant 2026 as you work toward making this world a much better place to be, one learning experience at a time. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.